Hi, I'm Renee.
And I'm Debbie. And together,
We
we
are
are
the
the
Round
Round
Table
Table
Recap.
Recap.
All right, welcome back. We are on Traitors UK Season 2, Episode 8, and we leave off where Mina confronts Charlotte in regards to recruiting her and basically says, if you don't accept, then I'll have to murder you. So obviously,
Yes.
Charlotte accepts.
Yeah.
And
Unless she wants to be out of the game.
no, but when I was watching this, I didn't think she looked that thrilled either to be recruited. It was kind of like
Yeah.
it is what it is at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've all worked hard to prove that they're faithful. So,
But then later in the game, I think that kind of changes because I was like, oh, she actually might make a good traitor.
Traitor.
But so then they discuss the three that they're going to murder are either Jake, Lisa, or Anna.
Yes.
And then it really just cuts to then the breakfast where
Yeah.
I have Joe 100% nails it, where he said, well, I mean, not 100%, but he did say that the recruiting is either you recruit or get murdered. So I was like,
hmm
oh, he either like really watches the game or, the show or
Well, I think, anybody that's familiar with the Traders game, they know that at some point there's going to be an ultimatum. And how many are there left? 10 left, I think.
so 10.
And
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to count. I don't know offhand.
yeah, so I mean, but irregardless, I mean, they're more than halfway through, getting down closer to the final. So yeah.
Yeah, and then at breakfast, I have that Leanne, she suspects Leon because she said after his recovery mission, he's kind of changed the way he is towards her. But I also think she's
hmm
a little bitter from the night before, just being in the hot seat and being confronted and having to defend herself.
Yeah, she had different ones going after her, so yeah, she was still upset about all that. I think she probably takes it more personal against Leon, because they were in that group of four. So
Yeah,
she had a closer relationship with him.
yeah, definitely. But then you find out Anna is the one that they murdered. Finally.
Yay!
I mean, she
Anna's
sat there
out.
for yeah, I mean, she was on the chopping block for a while there. Who knows
I
how
just
the
didn't
game
see.
would have went though had she originally accepted, being a traitor. She could still be
Yeah.
possibly in the game because people were so convinced that she was a faithful.
I don't know. To me, she just didn't bring anything to the game, so I'm glad to see her gone.
Yeah, I didn't have any type of feelings. I was like, okay, I guess it's about time. I mean, it was a while coming. Like we thought she was going to be gone a while ago.
hmm
Then I really have just Leanne and Joe talking about how both of them suspect Leon because again, he changed after the mission. And then Lisa thinks that because Anna's gone, that now herself, Mina, and Alex may be a target. That's really all I had
Yeah.
until they go into the mission. Did you have anything else to add?
No, no, everybody's just kind of, chatting and strategizing a little bit. So, but they're off in different directions. So, yeah, that's all that I had.
Yeah. So this mission is where they split up into two groups. Half of them stay at the castle, half of them go into this cabin that is in the woods. The team
Mm,
that's in the woods has to, amongst hundreds of dolls, um, have to figure out four dolls that are actually giving them some type of nursery rhyme, but it's
hmm
backwards to where then they call the castle people and have to regurgitate the noise that the
hmm
doll makes, where then the people in
Right.
the castle have to do that noise into the what's it called? A gramophone?
Yeah, the
Uh
gramophone. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yep.
then which puts it back to normal so it's no longer in reverse. So that way they can guess what nursery rhyme it is. And then
hmm
that's how obviously they're gonna bank the money for this mission.
Yeah. I always like these type of challenges because they're fun. I don't know. They make me laugh. I
Yeah, this
like
one,
this one.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, this one, because they're like, they're just like doing
Yeah.
random noises and trying to. So yeah, I laughed. I laughed during this one.
Yeah, because not only repeating the sounds, but then also the tune too.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
repeating both things. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yep. And in one of the dolls has a clue about the shield. Uh,
Yes.
in the dollhouse. Yeah.
Yeah. And right away, I was like, oh, Mina and Charlotte should have split up but they
Yep.
both went to the
Yep.
castle group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big error on their part. Yeah, if you only have two traitors, one should have been in each group. Yeah.
Yeah. Because obviously we'll see, we'll discuss it later, but it comes to bite them a little bit later on that they didn't split up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're going back and forth, and then Jake is the one who finds a doll that says the shield's in a bear, and so he goes and finds the bear that has the shields. Oh, and then I thought it was funny because the very last doll, they're running out of time, and they only
Right.
at that point had two out of the four,
Mm-hmm.
and so they give the rhyme to the castle group, and the castle is like, "Oh, I think it's, this rhyme."
Yeah,
And
London Bridge or something. Yeah.
yeah, and the people at the woods are like, like, "Oh, we have to hurry. We got to do this." So then they're just like, "I think it's this one," which is what, row row your boat or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that. And
Yeah,
and
or three
so
blind. I can't remember, three blind mice. I don't know.
maybe.
Yeah, but one of those.
Yeah, and so they basically ignore the castle people, and Leanne's like, "What? How
Yeah.
do you know?" And so they just go against the castle people, and they actually get it right, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
So they're like, "You know
Yeah.
what? Forget it. Forget you guys. We don't even need you." But they
I
got
think
it.
they just went with they recognized the tune backwards. They
Yeah,
so yeah, and like you said, they were running out of time, so decision had to be made, and so it worked out for them.
it did, and they banked
Hmm.
£7,500, which is not bad. So they only
Right.
missed out on one doll. So then they don't disclose who got the shields.
Right.
But Frankie is the one who comes out and says that someone got the shield. So the traitors know that someone amongst their group
Hmm.
has it, but obviously they don't know out of the woods people who's the one that actually got it.
Right. Which is where Nina and Charlotte messed up.
Yep. Yep. And this is where the turning point is for Alex. I have this,
Hmm.
unless you had something before this point,
No, no, yeah, it was just Alex and the comment he made.
saying
Yeah.
that Linda didn't turn on any traitors, basically,
Hmm.
because he said that Linda didn't vote or throw any traitor under the bus, which Joe right away is like, wait a minute, how do you know she didn't?
Right.
And so, like, Joe's like, "Ah, I think I'm onto something, and I think he just slipped up." And
Great detective.
right, right. Which, I mean, I
Yeah.
can't blame him. I would have thought the same thing. Like, how do you know that
Yeah, yeah,
other
yeah. Because
than,
I was gonna say at this point in the game, you don't want to put yourself in the spotlight. I mean, because they're looking for any inconsistencies, any clues. So yeah, so Alex, even though it was an innocent comment, yeah, he messed up. He put himself in the spotlight, even though he didn't mean to. But yeah, that's all. That's all it takes.
yeah, which I mean, he does later on reword it to what he meant. And
Hmm.
we obviously know
Right.
what he meant since we know that who the traitors are. But yeah, he just misspoke and obviously put a big target on him on his back. And then it
Yeah,
doesn't help that like Alex, it turns red, which
I
makes
know.
him even look even more
I know. I felt so bad for
suspicious.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because one time where he actually speaks up and then yeah, it's taken the wrong way.
I know
Because
he's
he's
been
been
like pretty
quiet.
quiet. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just kind of been floating in the background this whole time, I think, and now because if he made the one statement, it just went all downhill from there for his game,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
So then now Joe, Jake, and Frankie suspect Alex, and they go and tell
Hmm.
Leanne about what happens.
Hmm.
And so yeah, he's definitely in the hot seat come the round table,
Yeah.
which is
Mm.
next is the round table.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of accusations being thrown about. So, I
Yeah.
mean, Joe starts with Alex. That's
Mhm.
what kicks off the round table, and that's where Alex tries to defend himself. And then he tries to throw the suspicion on Freddie.
Yep.
But
Yeah, that Freddie was worried before and now he's all calm and he kind of went to
hmm.
the background and
Yeah.
yeah, which didn't work out
Yeah.
because then Jake brings
No.
it right back to him, right back to
Yeah.
Alex.
Oh yeah, and then I said that Frankie joined in going after Alex as well. So yeah, it
The
just
same with
felt so
Mina
bad.
because Mina
Yeah.
obviously was like, okay, yeah, you're a good target
Yeah,
too.
just
Okay. Yeah.
Jump on that bandwagon. Yeah,
Which is, I
I
mean,
know.
what you have to do in this, especially as a trader. Obviously, if someone's an easy target, then why
Hmm.
not jump on it and say, yeah, yeah, that does sound odd and weird. Go get him,
Hmm.
guys.
Right.
Yeah. So then
And
Lisa
Lisa,
talks. Yep. Yeah, hi,
yeah.
Lisa.
Yeah, because because she has that friendship with Alex. And so I think she's trying
Hmm.
to, come to his rescue in a way and tries to deflect it onto different people. She's questioning Charlotte and Mina and Leon. So, she's trying to take some of that heat off from Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which I was like, oh, okay. I mean, you called out two traitors right away, like with
I
her
know.
thing. So
I
like,
know.
oh, that's not the
Yep.
best.
Yeah.
But Leanne, she jumps in because obviously she's already suspecting Leon. And so when Lisa
Hmm.
brings up Leon, then Leanne comes in and I think Leon gives, a good defense. But then you also have Joe and obviously Charlotte come in and they also start questioning Leon and start suspecting him. But
Yeah.
ultimately, obviously Alex goes, which again I thought was
Yeah.
unfortunate because
Yeah. That
he
was a
made
sad one.
one yeah, he made one slip up remark and it was like
Yeah.
too late to realize to take it back.
Yeah. It was just ironic because, like I said, he's been quiet the whole game, and then the one comment he makes,
I
it's
know.
like gets
Oh,
him
poor
kicked out.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. After the round table, it was Jake, Leon, and Lisa all start talking about who propagated that Alex agenda. And then they all kind of focus on Frankie as leading the charge against Alex, which I thought was strange in a way because Joe was the one that I thought that from what we saw, Joe kind of led.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought too. I thought it was Joe that was the one who ran and told people and pointed it out. But I guess
Yeah.
because Frankie was in that group with Joe and Jake,
Hmm.
Frankie took the heat
Yeah.
or maybe it's yeah, things happen behind the scenes that obviously we don't
Right.
get to see. But
Yeah.
it did make it seem like it was Joe that was the one who was leading it, not Frankie.
Yeah.
But then I also have that Freddie think or tells Charlotte and Leanne that he thinks Mina might be one, in which
Hmm.
at this point Charlotte's like, "Well, I'm not going to tell Mina." Which I was like,
Right.
"Oh,
Yep.
so much for this
Yeah.
little bit of sisterhood there,
Yeah.
or is that being a good
Backstabbing
traitor?"
starts.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was really surprised by that, to be honest, because I know she is wondering if Mina has a
Hmm.
plan to backstab her or throw her under the bus. So I think
Hmm.
that's maybe why she's keeping this in her back pocket, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah,
But
I think
yeah.
usually traders have a hard time trusting each other. The faithful tend to trust each other more than the traders. I mean, the traders might start out trusting each other, but then pretty soon they're like, having suspicions, like how far is this person going to take me? Are they really being truthful with me? Are they
Yeah.
going to take me to the end? Or are they just going to, at some point, cut me loose and just go for it themselves. So I think being a trader is harder,
Yeah, I would agree. It is.
mentally. Yeah, because you're worrying about what are the true motives of this trader, of the other traders.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
with the extra layer which Charlotte has where she wasn't a traitor from the start,
Mm-hmm.
which it makes it even that much harder to trust your other traitor. Because
Right.
I think like say had Linda stayed
Mm-hmm.
in as a traitor and it was just Mina and Linda,
Right.
I don't see either one of them throwing the other person under the bus. Like I really feel like they would have
Yeah.
taken both of them to the end.
Yeah, they started the game together. Yeah, they seem pretty tight, so they probably would have finished together. Yeah, I mean, with Charlotte, it didn't take her very long to she had been a trader, what, one day? I don't even think it was
Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah, and then
And
her ending thing was about her saying, "Well, we got to give them blood soon." And I'm thinking like you just
mm,
became a traitor. Like in the last episode
yeah,
you already got a traitor. So like
yeah,
she's got to take a back seat. Like there's only two of you guys. There's still a bunch of
right.
faithful. Like, oh, I,
I think it's a mistake for her at this point in the game to already start thinking about throwing Mina under the bus
mhm.
because to be a traitor alone in the game is, I think, very difficult.
Yeah,
And make it to the end by yourself. I think if you're going to have two traitors, it's much easier to get closer to the end and then probably, and then probably backstab at that point. But
yeah. You gotta,
backstab when you still have a lot of people in the game. So,
yeah, you got
yeah,
a lot of faithfuls to get rid of before you can really
yeah,
start making power moves, I think.
yeah.
So that's why I said at the beginning, I'm like, she kind of looked, not thrilled that she was a murderer or she was a traitor. But then by the end, she
Hmm.
was full blown. Okay, and let's get Mina out
Yeah.
too while we're at it. While we're at it,
Just get everybody out of the game. I want to be the last one.
right, right.
Uh,
And I'm really hoping. I mean, I'm rooting for Mina. Obviously, like she's
yeah,
been traitor since day one. I think she's done an excellent job as traitor. So I'm really
yeah.
rooting that she comes out on top. But anyway, so then it's the traitor turret.
Turret. Hmm.
Yep. And they are gonna decide to risk it because it's discussed that they don't know who the shield holder is, and they decide to go after two from the Woods group, possibly
Yeah, which
Jake or Joe, and then Lisa, who is from the Castle group.
yeah, I would have played it safe. I don't know. At this point in the game, I want to keep getting the faithful out. I don't know if I would risk trying to go after somebody in the group that had the shield, unless they were a part of that group and they knew who had the shield. But to go in blind, I don't know. I think that's risky. But
So yeah, I would
if
only
they,
risk it if there was definitely a person that you're like, we need to get out. Like
hmm,
that is very threatening for the traders. If
right,
they leave them in the game, then I would play the risk move. Otherwise, I definitely would keep it safe to at least get another faithful out while you have a chance.
right.
So I guess we'll have to wait and see next time who's going to go home. Is it Lisa, Jake, or Joe? Tune in to next week.
Yay!